Hey everyone, this is Karen Waksman, founder of Retail MBA, and today I want to talk about selling your products to Staples. So if you have a great physical product and you're trying to sell to retailers and Staples is on your mind, this little training segment will just give you some tips and strategies on what to think about in regards to going after them. So with that said, let's talk about Staples. They have over 1,500 stores they're responsible for. That is tremendous buying power. One chain store order from Staples can mean millions of dollars to your business and your bottom line. If you just think about it, if they buy, say, 30 units of your product per store and they have 1,500 stores or so, and again, the number of stores vary based on the time you hear this, but ultimately, just say 1,500 stores and they have, 30 units per product. I mean, that could be conceivably a tremendous amount of opportunity. And I mean, that's around 45,000 units of your product. I'm not saying that they'll buy it for all of their stores, but think about how many units that is, 45,000 units per, for these stores. And then what if they reorder the product over and over and over again? I have clients who have sold to retailers for 10 to 15 years straight. And again, it varies per retailer and so forth, but once the product sells and it converts in their stores, they tend to reorder, and so that can be tremendous business to you. The other thing to think about with Staples is they don't just buy office supplies. They buy consumer electronics. They buy janitorial supplies. They buy furniture. They buy school supplies. They buy food. I mean, they buy so many snacks and all these different things, health and beauty products. I mean, stuff you would never think to sell to an office supply store. So my recommendation is to go and to walk their stores and see what stuff is in their stores today. Retailers have changed. They're not the way they used to be. Before, it used to be very cut and dry. They would buy only the very specific things that matter to that particular retailer, like office supplies and so forth, but not anymore. Now they're filling up stores with a variety of different things, hoping that the customer will not only just buy whatever they typically buy from them, but add all sorts of different things. The other thing to think about with Staples is the buyer at Staples is different than the buyer at staples.com. Those are two different buyers, and that happens with most retail chains like Walmart and walmart.com. Those are different buyers. The online buyer is typically different than the physical store buyer, and the way that you sell to them is a little bit different. The reason I mention that is because, if you get rejected by Staples, you can go after the staples.com buyer, and a lot of people don't know that. And so, thing to think about is that, again, there's so many different ways to sell to Staples. Another thing that to think about if you want to sell to Staples is you can sell to them through their corporate buyer, which, buys products for all their stores. You could sell to their online buyer, which buys for their online store. Or maybe you have a private label product that you can put under their brand name. Most retail chains have a private label buyer or company owned buyer. And basically what that means is that it has the Staples name on it, but they typically buy from someone like you. So they buy products from a manufacturer, and then they just have you package it under their name. And so every retailer has kind of a private brand product, privately owned product, and they actually have buyers specifically who buy stuff like that. So if you're trying to sell to Staples and they're not purchasing from you, one thing to think about is, do I care whether or not my, brand is on the packaging? And if so, maybe I can reach out to the private the privately owned buyer, corporate owned buyer, and so forth, and see if I could put my product under their brand name. And again, people make millions of dollars with Staples, but a lot of times, the private label buyer can really just buy large volumes of your product because, again, it's under their brand name. So it's just something to think about. There's so many different ways to sell to Staples. If you want to learn more, definitely take a look at my website, retailmba.com. That's retailmba.com. I walk you through exactly how to approach, pitch, and sell retailers like Staples, if you're a beginner, if you're an advanced seller, and any other retailer and so forth. We have a very comprehensive program. We have free training, advanced training that you can purchase, live events. We partner with retailers and so forth. Love to support you, or just subscribe to this channel. Be on the lookout for the free content that we create. We're always here to help. And please comment below if you like this training and or if you want us to answer any other questions for you. We're always here to help. This is Karen Waksman, Retail MBA, and I wish you the best. Thanks so much.